Hey, 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 what is up? What is up? Back again in the NY. And yeah, and take this earpiece out because these earbuds be definitely messing a video up for sure. But what's up, guys? And well, in this video, I'm going to be talking about some things on health, just giving some pointers on it. Hopefully with this video, I can add value to whatever it is that you're thinking, especially for people who are 40 plus, old in years, blah, blah. Especially for people who are 40 years old and up. I know these days are hard, well, let me just go ahead and just get right into it. Yeah, I know in these time and days, it's pretty hard to kind of figure out because there's, a lot of information all over the place. Some of it is complex, some of it is very simplified, some of it is, I guess, what you would think is simple to you, but maybe complicated to someone else. And I truly think like the only way to have a good understanding is figuring out what is good for your body and your body alone. So you can research it and do all those things, but if you know your body, you can definitely find out like what it is you need. First of all, your body will tell you what's going on, and I'm not saying don't go see doctors and stuff like that. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes they'll tell you like what's low, what's high, what you need to kind of, stop eating certain foods or processed foods and things of that nature. But anyway, the doctors are very good at doing that. But then understanding what that is and how that pertains to real food, when it comes to feeding your body the proper nutrition, So I'm going to start with the ladies. The ladies, well, I'm going to tell you guys now, ladies, I think I said this in another video. One of the things that you guys need in your life is magnesium, potassium, copper, and iron. And listen, I'm not going to go down a food list. You guys can look that up and, find out what fruits and vegetables are needed, on grains or things of that nature that are needed to boost up those type of areas, and you want to make sure you have it balanced, because I don't want you to just pick one and just go crazy with it. And then now you're overexerting yourself on one particular type of nutrient or minerals. So ladies, it's potassium, magnesium, copper, and iron. Usually you'll find your iron in a lot of the leafy greens, like your kale and your spinach. But copper, you'll find it in like, some nuts and some things of that nature. Magnesium, you can find in, certain fruits, and in certain vegetables. And potassium, obviously, you'll find in bananas, and fruits that are in the banana family. What these things do is balances out your system, so it'll give you the energy and the fuel that you need to do for whatever it is you're going to do that day. But you want to make sure that you have these proper things aligned in your life throughout the day. You don't have to eat it all day. You can just have it once in the morning or once in the afternoon, or I wouldn't probably do it at night, but usually when you wake up in the morning is probably the best time. For the men, it's usually the same thing, but we operate a little differently because we're just built a little stronger. Our muscles and bones and things are different. We have one extra rib. So yeah, we're just built different. And yes, those things do apply for males, but a lot of the things male needs is protein, obviously we need iron, and these are basic essentials. Protein and iron are a good source for male because we need the iron to help pump our blood a lot, And then also we need the protein to build and repair our muscles. Now, once again, this protein applies to females too, but your muscles are built a little bit differently than ours. Now, unless you want to get swole. I don't think you want to do that. So now, the other thing about eating is hydration. I think I spoke about this before. That is the key. And I'm seriously saying, like, that is the key to a lot of things, man. A lot of things that might be going wrong on your body, a lot of things that might be coming up, especially if you're 40 plus and you have, you go to the doctor says you have a few ailments going on, things of that nature. Yeah, man, like a lot of it starts with dehydration, and then it's kind of like a chain reaction. Whatever it is your body is weak in, you're probably going to end up having, problems in that area. And once that part of your body breaks down or part of your organs break down, then another part is going to break down and another part. So I can't pinpoint specifically what that would be because it depends on the person, but hydration is key. And I'm not talking about drinking just tap water, which you should not be drinking, but you should be drinking something more along lines of an alkaline type of water, a simple glass of clean water and a squeeze of some lemon. That'll help. It's not the be all the end all, slicing up some cucumbers, that's going to give you the electrolytes, and hydrating your body and a lot of the vitamins, that comes with the cucumber, especially also even with the lemon and lime, or even put them both in there, and that would be like more of a quicker version. Get like a pitcher, slice up some lemons or lime and cucumber, put it in the pitcher. Boom, electrolyte water. If you want to give it a little flavor, add some coconut water to it, and that's kind of the quick version of it. The other version of hydration is either you're eating or juicing your fruits. Eating and juicing your fruits is particularly better because you're digesting it. Well, if you're okay, well, no, you know what? Let me start over here. When you're juicing fruits or vegetables, right? As far as the hydration is concerned, you're getting a lot of the rich nutrients and minerals that are being extracted from it. Probably not a lot of the fiber. Some fruits, some vegetables don't have a lot of fiber to it. Some do. But you get what is called the soluble part of the fruits when you're juicing it. But also when you're eating it, also serves its purpose because you get, they call it roughage, right? But you're also getting that. Now, in certain plants, I would do is I wouldn't eat certain plants in terms of just whole and raw. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. What I'm saying is when you're eating plants, some of it is very, very hard to break down when you're chewing it, and then even harder to digest because, they're plants, they have protective measures for themselves as well. So juicing like the spinach or the kale, because like the harder plants, like the spinach and the kale, or the arugulas, juicing them will probably give you a lot better, more nutrients and quick to hit your system. But the softer plants are probably edible, or maybe the crunchier ones, like the romaine lettuce, or even the cabbage, things of that nature. So that's kind of like eating it. That'll be easier to eat when you're looking at trying to consume certain types of plants. And fruits is the same thing. Juicing it, once again, you're extracting all the nutrients and the juices from it, which is the hydration part of it. But if you even just eat it, like a watermelon, or a pineapple, very, very juicy, right? A lot of the fruits that have, or melons that that contains a lot of water, that's where you want to focus yourself on. So whether it's in season or if you can get it at your local grocery store or farmer's market. So that's one of the things I wanted to bring to the table with you guys when it comes to hydration, because a lot of us may not want to eat fruits or eat a salad. So, but the one thing we will do is drink it. So if it's something sitting in a glass jar in the fridge, you look at it, and, take it and you just, all right, let me pour me a cup, and you drink it, it goes down fast and pretty much it digests a lot quicker. So that's why people people drink protein powders, and which I wouldn't recommend these days. But, they drink a lot of their protein or drink a lot of their carbohydrates and things of that nature because they tend to lend the hand of hitting the body a lot quicker. So drinking your fruits and your vegetables will hit your body faster. If you're not looking for that, then, go ahead and just eat it, And like I said, there's nothing wrong with eating like a spinach, kale, the more tougher plants. I'm just saying, make sure you have some sort of, you cut it up, I would say. Yeah, cut it up. That'll be good. And I'm like, listen, I've trialed, error, tested this thing for a long time. And one of the things I've always figured out was the more I do things, the more I learn. So, and I realized that if I eat a full salad with the spinach and the kale and all that stuff in it, I know it's going to take a while for that stuff to kick in. But I know if I juice it, it'll be a lot more easier to not only take down and digest, but my body will get the nutrients a lot more quicker. So just wanted to bring some light to that. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions lately where people ask, well, Mike, where do I shop? Or what type of stores or grocery stores do I shop at? Well, I mean, listen, man, if you're living next to a grocery store or by a grocery store and it has all the things that you have in it, and some will be more pricier than others depending on the area you live in, then use a grocery store. But if you get to a farmer's market, I'm telling you, that's kind of where the secret lies, because not only will you get more variety, but you're going to get probably more, let's say, more of what it is that maybe would be less of in a grocery store. So you might see a section of grapes, but they're all unseeded. But you go to a farmer's market, you're more likely going to find seeded grapes as well as unseeded. So that's the difference. Farmers markets are usually the best places to go because they come from the local farms with every area you live in. Some of it is delivered in, from various different states, but others come from right in your backwoods, your neck of the woods. So I find farmers market to be the best, because I can get more variety. Now, here's a little story though, quick story. Not the few days back, I had to go and re-up on, because I make my green juice, with my cucumbers, spinach, parsley, cilantro, and apples. It could be green, red, Honeycrisp, depends on what I'm in the mood for. But anyway, I went to the store and I was just doing my regular shopping, trying to get my green juice. I like to make my beet juice, with the ginger and the and the pineapple. And I was walking to go to the checkout line, and I saw something green, and I never really seen it before, but it looked very familiar. And I had to stop myself because I walked by it very quickly, and I stopped. I was like, "Wait a minute, what was that?" And lo and behold, when I turned around and looked at the sign, it was soursop. Now, guys, you know what soursop can do. You know what it brings to the table. I don't have to mention that, and I don't want to mention that because I don't want people to hold me responsible. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a guy that's understanding and trying to understand fruits and vegetables and how it can, heal my body or prevent things from happening to my body. But anyhow, getting off topic here. I saw soursop and I was like, oh my goodness, I've been looking at videos about soursop, looking at what it brings to the table in terms of your body, and I very rarely find it in my neck of the woods. And man, I was so shocked, and I said, man, let me get one at least. So I went, picked it up, and I was like, you know what, I don't know if it's going to be here. Let me get another one. And then I turned and looked at the price. Man, that sucker was about $12.99 a pound. It was probably like maybe the size of my hand. It wasn't that big. Usually they come real big, but I get it. But very awkward to see the soursop there. But at this time of the season, for one, but two, I don't know if it grows in the wintertime, or winter seasons. I'm not sure. You guys, let me know in the comments if it does. But it wasn't big, but I understood what it was, and I never had it before. Man, so I couldn't pick up two, man. That's not in my budget. So, but yeah, I picked it up, man. I didn't really care about the price because when it comes to my health and I see something like that floating around, you know, I'm getting it. You know, I'll figure out my finances later because my health is more important, you know, than my finances at, you know, in life, period. Because, you know, if you don't have your health, then if you build wealth, you ain't gonna be able to enjoy it. So I got the soursop. So I had to relook at some of the videos with the soursop, and lo and behold, it's a tricky thing to make. It's very tedious. It can be very messy, but it's very tedious. And I looked at some videos on YouTube, and I found out that you have to like let it sit for about, because it was hard when I picked it up. So I don't know if it was ripe or not. So I had to look it up, and I did the research, and I found out that you have to let it sit for a day or two so it can soften up. And then when it gets nice and soft, it gets like you squeeze it and it gets that mushiness inside. Then you start to peel it. I mean, the skin literally peels right off. I just cut it in half, and the skin came right off. It's like peeling an orange or peeling a tangerine. It just literally came off. But here comes the hard part. There are seeds in there, right? These black hard seeds. And from what I found out is you can't eat the seeds. They're very toxic, if I'm not mistaken. So I was like, oh boy, yeah. And there's a lot of seeds in soursop. I kid you not. So that was something I wasn't ready for. And so I peeled it open, and I started digging in there. It was very soft, but the minute I cut it open, man, the smell came out. It's like this sweet smell. I mean, you would never expect this smell coming from this particular type of fruit. Just the way it looks. It was this sweet potpourri. It's like, I guess it's cotton candy? I'm not sure. But it just had this sweet smell to it. And I was like, I'm going to taste this. And man, when I put that thing in my mouth, I was like, oh my goodness. You know, I don't even know why they gave it the name soursop. I have no clue. Because there was nothing sour about that. But anyway, I had to dig in there with my hands and like pop out the seeds, because the seeds are like buried into the flesh of the fruit. And I mean, it's real easy, but your hands they get real messy. And you got to squeeze them out and stuff like that. And once I finished with it, you know, I was putting it in a bowl, and I was like, well, what to do next? So of course, once again, started watching videos and like, how do you do this? I was like, might as well blend it. I haven't blended in a while. And I put it in there, and when I put it in there, I started blending it, I heard this little clicking sound in the blender. And I was like, what the hell? And it's this dark thing that kept twirling around, and I was like, oh boy. So it was a seed, and I had to stop it and fish it out. But yeah, once again, I started blending it up, and it came this like milky, white, thick substance. It still smelled good. It smelled even more. And I was like, man, what do I do with it? So I was like, well, for me, with common sense, I used my common sense. Forgive me, guys. It's cold out here. I don't mean cold, but I'm coming right at you guys. Yeah, we're down in well, not really. We're in the teens in terms of weather, but once again, that's another story. I'm off topic again. Sorry. Anyway, so I was blending it up, and it gave this milky substance. And man, I was like, yo, this can be a thickener to when I want to make smoothies. So you can add bananas to it, which will sweeten it even more, or give it a little more body and flavor. And then also like maybe pineapple. But then I was like, aha, blueberries. So I know blueberries, antioxidant, very, very good. I love it. And I started to mix that in, and then give it a different color. So I tasted it and I was like, this needs something. And once again, when I was watching one of the videos, this person added cinnamon to it. I was like, oh yeah, cinnamon. Because if you put cinnamon to things, it just gives this like, I don't know if it's an umami, I'm not sure, but you just get this like kind of different flavor and taste. And I wanted to put some nutmeg in it as well, but I thought I had some, but I didn't. And from there, I really didn't have to add anything else. So I mixed it in and made this like great tasting smoothie, man. Man, this thing it's so good. I don't want to drink it all, And so I made that, and it came out so good. And that's when I was like, yo, I gotta start getting into more of these different kind of exotic fruits. If I see something that I know about and I haven't purchased or never purchased, oh yeah, it's worth the money to get to try, at least try it out. Man, I tell you, when I go back to that store, if I see soursop again and the budget is looking okay, yeah, I'm getting about 3 of them suckers. Things is so good. I mean, you can make milkshakes out of that. I mean, it's so good, guys. So when you get a chance, guys, you at your local grocery store or farmer's market, pick up some soursop, man. It is so good. And the benefits, of course, you guys know, it's all over the internet. It's out of this world, but very, very good fruit to eat. You can eat it regular, plain. It tastes so good. It's just very messy and gooey, and you gotta, slurp it up. And I don't know if you're gonna really like that part of it, but drinking it, once again, goes back to my point. You'll find yourself drinking things more than eating, hence why hydration is very important, because the drinking aspects lends to your mind that your body is hydrating. Just the actual movement and motion of you putting a cup to your lips and drinking something lends to your mind of how you should, what's up, man? Lends to the amount of how you should, take in things that is hydrating to you, and then when you take a fork and you dig it into a salad, yeah, it's the same thing, right? It's a mind. Like people, when you make food, right, you eat with your eyes, right? Yeah, it's the same thing. Or you eat with your movements too, or drink with your movements. So our body is a full mechanism, man. Your body automatically heals itself. Did you know that? The body heals itself. So I just wanted to talk about that story real quick. Sorry, I didn't want to get too long with it, but man, I had to tell you because my first experience tasting soursop. So, okay. I wanted to talk about fitness real quick too. And wanted to let you guys know. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that on another video. I'm going to stick to health a little bit more. So, once again, when I'm talking about health, we got to have a balance to our body. We have to. Because we can't be eating these processed foods, guys. I'm not saying don't ever eat it, because we all have our favorite foods to eat. I get it, man. Listen, man, I don't go to a Popeyes. I don't really do Popeyes anymore. They stopped seasoning their meat. I don't know what happened. I don't really do Popeyes. I haven't eaten Popeyes in a long time. And I kind of don't want to eat it anymore because I don't know, it's just the way they make their chicken. But whatever fast food restaurants or fast food places you like to eat, it's okay. But you got to remember, guys, back in the days, these fast food joints were treats. They weren't your normal everyday meals that you eat every day. You usually cooked at home, made enough for leftovers, help save you some money and things of that nature. Now we've gone into, fast food restaurants has been our meals. Like, wait, once again, things have changed. And we got to chill on that, man. Chill on that, because process is process. And that's what it is. And I think when you're dealing with processed foods, too much, your body is just not going to digest it properly. Whatever is in processed foods, to keep it fresh for a longer period of time, that can mess up your system a little bit. So, or your body, your system in your body. So you got to be careful, guys. Try not to eat too much processed foods, if any at all. If you can stay away from it and totally avoid it, that'll be great. Hell, I'll be trying to avoid it, but sometimes I don't feel like cooking, But if you're going to order from, a particular spot, try to get the healthiest part of that restaurant. Like if you go to like a McDonald's or a Wendy's, get the salad. You know, ease up on the burgers, man. Not saying don't have any, but if you know what I know, and you've seen what I've seen, looking up burgers and how they made and what they are, let's just say they haven't been cows in a long time. So you gotta be careful with that. So, but try to get the healthiest version of whatever fast food restaurant you go to and eat. Because I understand people are busy, need a quick bite, you need to get something. So, you know, just try to get the healthiest version to it as best as you can. And, and you'll be fine, But stay on your fruits and vegetables, guys. I cannot, say it enough. It's especially people, like I said, 40 and over. If you are 40 plus, you have to start thinking about that mindset, because you're probably already of the idea. Because listen, I'm over 40. No, I'm over 50, just over 50. And I'm telling you right now, it's like your mind is going to change, things are going to change, your body's going to change for sure. That I promise you, if it hasn't happened already. And you have to start changing with it. It's going to tell you and alert you on many different things. Certain foods you used to eat back in the days, your body's going to be like, can't deal with that anymore. That stuff was hard to digest when we was in our 20s. Right now, you're 40 plus. It's like the stomach is like, not trying to deal with that. So we got to start thinking about it when we are getting older. As our body starts to adjust, we have to adjust our eating. And as you get older, you might as well start early, getting your fruits and veggies in to make sure your vitamins and minerals and nutrients are always maintained and caught up. And I think that's the best thing a person can do, especially if they're just turning 40. So, all right, guys, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the health, and I hope I didn't go too long. And this is my first time using my selfie stick and turning it sideways. So bear with me if the camera was moving too much or if I'm out of frame here and there. Arms getting a little tired, so brother got to get in shape with the arm. I have Popeye arms by the time I'm done with this. All right, guys, I'll catch up with you later. See you in the next video.